Good morning, everybody. Welcome home. Welcome to your Neighbourhood Unitarian Universalist congregation. My name is Susanne Marziarz. I'm the music director here, and I have announcements for the coming week to share. Our annual congregational picnic is today after service at Withrow Park. We'll meet near the fire pit, bring something to eat and drink, and connect with your fellow congregants after summer break. All are welcome. Spirit choir rehearsals are starting again, starting up tomorrow evening and every Monday night from 7 to 9 p.m. If you're interested in joining our choir, come talk to me after service. We have an outdoor labyrinth walk happening. That's this Thursday at 7 p.m. Join Doug Crozier and fellow congregants at the outdoor labyrinth at Fairmount Park. And if you'd like to hear more about that, Doug's here today. You can talk to him after service. Games night is this Saturday from 6 to 10 p.m. You can join your fellow congregants and friends for an evening of board games here in our space, hosted by Gail Reynard and Gordon Klee. Are either of those people here today? No. Okay. The C Committee. C Committee is our Social and Environmental Action Committee. Will meet October 1st after service. In the meantime, join us at these events, the September 16th Toronto Global Fight to End Fossil Fuels at Queen's Park from 11 to 1, or September 27th, which is a Monday, March for the Land at Queen's Park at noon. 5 First Nations from Northern Ontario will come to Toronto to lead a march calling on Premier Ford to end unwanted mining activity on their territories. You can talk to Nancy, and Nancy's here, there she is, or Kurt about a meeting place, and Common Thread in the Streets will be singing, so you can join in body and or song. Neighbourhood Gallery opens today with 2 new shows, Ravinder Ruprai's Circle, which is up on my right, and Lauren Renzetti's Meditations on my left, as well as some pieces on our front wall here. It opens today. No, it opens next week. It opens next week, 12 to 1, and continues on till the end of October. All are welcome to check out the art. Toronto Sacred Circle Fall Equinox Dance, Saturday, September 23rd from 9 to 2:30. No experience or partner is needed. Each dance will be taught. All are welcome. Please talk to Moira after service to learn more about Sacred Circle Dance. Remembering Reverend Rodrigo Emilio Solano Quesnel, a celebration of life for Rev Rod will be held here at Neighbourhood on Saturday, September 23rd at 5 p.m. All are welcome. This will be live streamed on Zoom as well using our regular Sunday service Zoom link. We have assisted listening devices that connect you directly with the sound from our microphones. It's like the presenters are right next to you, speaking into your ear. There's a volume control and a pair of headphones. If this would be of any help to you, you can ask for one of these units. In the back corner, there's Mark. He'll give you one and show you how to use it. They're for everyone. All right, and coming up next Sunday, our service theme is What Cancer Has Taught Me About Living. Our speaker will be Doug Crozier, music will be provided by the Comfort Choir, and our service weaver will be Jillian Newcomb.
Hello? Yes. Good morning, beautiful humans. My name is Debb Bertazzon, and it's my pleasure to be your service weaver for today. This is my first service back since the summer, and I have to say, it just warms my heart to see all of your delightful faces. Do you guys, I don't know if it's still on, but there was a commercial, I think it was for Staples, where the parents are, walking the cart, and then the music, it's the most wonderful time. And the parents are going, and then you see the kids behind them, the young people going. It always cracked me up. Well, I thought it was hysterical. Anyway, today, though, in a way, we're starting a new spiritual year. So let's start our service by creating and then entering sacred space. And to bring us to that threshold moment, I invite you to join me in reciting our invocation. Let us cast a circle of the sacred space here. Let us cast a circle of the cherished space here. A space of safety, a place of forgiveness, a place of love. If we want the world to change, we must craft in our space and in ourselves the seeds that grow a different kind of life. A life of graciousness, of creative intelligence, a place of life and spirit for ourselves and our families. And now that our sacred circle has been formed, let's ground ourselves within it. Let's take 3 deep breaths together, and as we're exhaling, let's do a sound. So in through your nose. Let it go. And one more. Yes, and as we ground, let's connect with the hearts, the minds, and the spirits of those present both in the sanctuary and on Zoom. I understand that we are having some Zoom difficulties. I don't know if y'all in Zoom land can hear me, but I'm confident that we'll be able to get it working. We're having sound issues. But nonetheless, let's connect with the energy that mingles together and be present and open to what will be. Today, our chalice will be lit by our new Director of Lifespan Learning, Julia Thomson. Come on up, Julia. And as she's lighting that chalice of ours, please join Susanne in singing our chalice song. And now over to Susanne and Laura for our prelude.
Right, everyone. Laura and I are going to be sharing a piece called En Bateau, in a boat, or sailing, by Claude Debussy. A lot of music of his, and I'll be playing another piece of his later, really has the sound of flowing water moving through it. So please enjoy, and thank you, Laura, for the honor to play together.
Thank you, Susanne and Laura. That was just lovely. Well, here we are. Today and always, let us not forget that our congregational building and many of the homes that folks who are zooming in from are on the traditional land and territories of the Wendat, the Anishinaabe, the Mississauga, and the Haudenosaunee nations. I offer my gratitude to all of our First Nations, Métis, and Inuit peoples for their teachings about earth, including water and rock, and about relations and community. Welcome to our Neighbourhood Unitarian Universalist Congregation's yearly Water Communion and Rock Covenant. I'm saying the Rock Covenant service, that's new, but I think it's something that we will likely continue to do. Thank you all for joining us. Today is not only a day that we're returning, but it's also a day where we will connect with our recent past and our near future. Now, putting a service together and seeing it through is no small feat. I'm always filled with gratitude and awe when such an undertaking is accomplished. Our musical director is the beautifully brilliant Susanne Marziarz, who along with Laura Thomas, also superbly talented, will be sharing and guiding us through music today. And I believe Allison, also wonderfully talented, I believe is going to be assisting with that as well. Our wonderfully enthusiastic Julia Thomson facilitates our Sunday children's program and will be sharing the time for all ages. Oh, we have the wizard himself, Gordon Thorne, working his magic behind the curtain in the minister's office, doing the Zoom web hosting duties. And boy, that's a lot. And we also have Mark Tim, another wizard, on the big board, attending to our AV needs here in the sanctuary. And you know, we always forget to thank Linda, who is taking care of our coffee and snack needs. So thank you, Linda, for being so generous of your time. And last but never least, our clever and gifted Peter Marmorek will also be speaking and guiding us through a two-part ritual. Let's just say he's going to be going with the flow, and I think he's going to rock it. So big thanks to the entire team. At Neighbourhood, we are open to many beliefs and learn from many traditions. We welcome all people who are seeking a spiritual community. And if you're visiting us for the first time, we welcome you and encourage you to stay after for coffee time. Now, we're a friendly, spirited, and open-hearted bunch, and I promise no one will ask you to be on the board. So come, you can form your own impressions. But just to let you know that our services can vary from week to week, so we encourage you to sample several, actually, to get a better feel for who we are and what we do. Some things are consistent, though, for those of us who like predictability. For example, our mission here at Neighbourhood is to empower spiritual growth and shared action for the care of the world. That's number one. Number two, Unitarian Universalists have 8 principles, and there they are on the screen. I'm not going to read them. And number 3, we really like organizing by themes. Our theme for this year is aspirations. Our bi-monthly theme for September and October is the first of our 5 aspirations, being deeply connected. Narrowing the focus, in September, we're going to explore covenant and community. And today, as mentioned earlier, we're, by way of holding up our 3rd principle, which in children's terms is, we believe that we should accept one another and keep on learning together. And so we will be engaging in the rituals of water, communion, and rock covenant. We will continue learning about ourselves together. So, what an interesting topic to prepare for. Water. So powerful, so calming. It is essential for life, as Nancy's t-shirt says. Yeah, it's essential to life, but it can also do so much damage. In many indigenous cultures, water is respected and cared for as the giver of life. In Anishinaabe culture, rocks are considered, and they're called, grandfather, Mishu Misnan. This is because rocks have been witness to the passage of times and all that has occurred during that time. Those histories are held within the rock and tell of our relationship with land, water, and the beings with whom we share space. These teachings are held in the rock, help us build that strong foundation needed to live in a good way. This is called Bima Ad Wiziwin. Wow. Say that again, Kim? Much better. I apologize for, exactly, thank you, Kim. Means, living a good life. Living life in a good way. I've made no secret that this past year of my life has been, challenging due to multiple losses. I've been doing my very best to live in a good way, with integrity, but there were many moments when I was not in my higher self. It felt like life was out of control and I was drowning. Now, there's a picture, this is a picture of my desktop. And while all of this was happening over the year, I put this on because it reminds me of the power of water. It would prompt me that I could either surf the waves or let myself be enveloped and bounced around by them. Some things were in my control, some things not so much. Actually, Susanne pointed out that every piece of art in my bedroom is an image of water. And I didn't notice that until she pointed it out. I was definitely experiencing lots of emotions during this period of my life, the good, the bad, and the ugly. Water actually did significant and costly damage to both my trailer and our basement, where the flood destroyed lots of valuables I had been storing. We even had to excavate and do waterproofing. In Celtic traditions, the West symbolizes water, emotion, psyche, and movement. Well, check. The North symbolizes earth, including rock, home, security, and fertility. In one of our bathrooms at home, we have this poster-size photo. It prompts me to consider the beauty and the flow of water and how wondrous it is when the water and rock come together. I took this photo at Buttermilk Falls in Ithaca, New York. During my time of grief, I needed strong, solid anchors, rocks for security to tether and ground me. I found this by learning how to reach out to loved ones. But there were so many times when the rocks were like boulders that blocked the flow that I desperately needed. And oh my, with the losses I experienced and continue to experience, came with lots of memories. But now, I see the losses that I am currently experiencing, the loss of our beautiful home, the loss of my job, and of course, the loss of being coupled with my partner of 14 years. All of these experiences are transitional and involve water and rock. It took over an hour to climb up to this point in the picture. We had to hike all the way up before I was able to reach that place. I believe that after over a year of working with and through pain, after so many tears, it's getting closer to the time where I'm going to experience tranquility. Roman poet Ovid said, "Dripping water hollows out stone, not through force, but through persistence." Writer and co-pastor Victoria Austin reminds us, the way you live your life matters. Think about when you toss a stone in the pond and it sends ripples across the water. In a similar manner, your life ripples out and has influence on those around you. And in her song, Smooth Stones, Lynn Harrison, UU minister and dear friend to Neighbourhood, prays, "Make us smooth stones, make us smooth stones. Let this love wash over us. Make us smooth stones." Okay, Well, now to help us begin 2 months of feeling deeply connected in our congregation, it's time for the ritual of greeting our neighbors. After you've greeted a few neighbors in the sanctuary, please turn to the camera, I'm hoping Zoom is on, and offer a greeting to those who are joining us virtually. Susanne will sound a chime at the end so that we will know. So go ahead, time to greet your neighbors.
Good morning, everybody. Good to see you.
Good morning, John. Susan, hello, Yvette.
Good
Hi,
morning.
Gail.
Hi.
Hi, Dee Dee.
Good
Hi, Gord.
morning. Okay, Gord's here too, someplace. There he
Yep.
is. Hi, Gord.
Could we stay risen in energy and spirit to start our first song we'll sing together? This is a song I learned here at Neighbourhood back in 2007 when David Berger taught it to me. I thought it'd be nice to bring it back and start our year off with a little bit of Neighbourhood's history. I'll sing a phrase, you sing it back to me, and we'll get it going. The river is flowing, flowing and growing. The river is flowing, flowing and growing. The river is flowing back to the sea. The river is flowing back to the sea. Mother Earth, carry me, your child I will always be. Mother Earth, carry me, your child I will always be. Mother Earth, carry me back to the sea. Mother Earth, carry me back to the sea. Let's get this going a little bit. Feel free to move like the flowing river if you'd like. The river is flowing, flowing and growing. The river is flowing back to the sea. Mother Earth, carry me, your child I will always be. Mother Earth, carry me back to the sea. The river is flowing, flowing and growing. The river is flowing back to the sea. Mother Earth, carry me, your child I will always be. Mother Earth, carry me back to the sea. And one more time, we're going to sing it really gentle, a smooth, gentle, quiet river. The river is flowing, flowing and growing. The river is flowing back to the sea. Mother Earth, carry me, your child I will always be. Mother Earth, carry me back to the sea. Beautiful, everyone. Thank you, Allison.
Hello. I kind of have the first day butterflies, like the first day of school, so I'll be okay. Before I invite the young and the young of heart to join me, I want to speak about somebody who inspired me as a parent and as a teacher. Zariah led the Lifespan Learning Kids program, and I would sit where you are and listen to her presentations, her stories, and her conversations with the kids. They were so well thought out and designed to make us think very deeply. And Zariah has a very rare gift. the way she relates to kids, it's the polar opposite of condescending. So Zariah rocks. Thank you, Zariah. Yes. And actually, my story is called The River Rocks. Zariah and the River Rock. So now I would like to invite the young and young of heart to join me. Or, you can join me in spirit if you're on Zoom, or if you're more comfortable sitting there, whatever you prefer. Yeah. I mean, it would be kind of fun to have a few people around me, I must say. There's this space, to fill. Oh, it's really nice to see you guys. So, my story, The River Rocks. Once upon a time, there were two chunks of gravel, and their names were Pebbles and Petra. And they lived on the side of a riverbank, and they had been used for construction and just dumped there. They were no longer needed. Now, Petra and Pebbles were not happy where they lived, and they would spend their days looking down into the river below, and they would look at these beautiful river stones. And the river stones all look different from one another, just the way Petra and Pebbles were and the way snowflakes are. There were no two stones alike. Now, one day, Petra thought the wind blew by, and Petra suddenly had an idea and called out to the wind, "Wind, will you help us?" The wind said, "Well, I'm very busy. What would you like?" And Petra said, "Well, we're stuck here in this construction pile, and we need to break free to join the river." Well, the wind thought for a moment and said, "Yes, I can help you, and you shall go." So the wind huffed and puffed, and the hail and the raindrops joined the wind, and they all worked together, and the river gravel felt themselves getting looser and looser until suddenly, whoosh, they slid into the river. They were finally in the river. But the first thing they thought was fear. They felt so afraid. The river wasn't the way they imagined it to be. It was dark and it was scary, and they were being pushed and jostled around with the river rocks. But finally the river settled down, and Petra and Pebbles looked up. And what did they see? They saw thousands and thousands of stars shining, twinkling down at them. And they saw the moon smiling down and shining her light, the way they always had forever since they could remember. And the river rocks gathered around them and made them feel welcome and safe. And they just settled into their new river bed. Now the next day, Pebbles and Petra, they skipped and they played with the river rocks, and there was a lot they needed to learn. And at first it was difficult because they had all these sharp edges and corners, and they were being jostled and bumped around. But then soon they settled down and began to learn with the river stones. And life became really fun in the flowing river. And many, many years later, more years than either you or I will ever live, Petra and Pebbles became smooth from being in the river, and they were able to welcome the gravel and stones that fell to join them. But our story doesn't end here, because a woman named Julia gathered them up from brickworks and brought them in to show you with gratitude, and she will return them back to the river where they came from. And here they are, Petra and Pebbles. So, this story kind of reminds me of the third principle of accepting and enjoying each other and learning together, just the way Petra did with the river rocks. You know, they could have just stayed on the bank of the river and just been uncomfortable and then just looked at the exciting river and the river rocks and just wishing away their lives, but they decided to do something about it. And so, yeah, they learned together. So we can go into the room there, the learning room, and I have some more river stones to show you and some activities. Okay, thank you.
Welcome and good morning. Welcome to our new year at Neighbourhood and this year's theme of aspiration. Aspiration has two meanings, and in today's service we're going to look at both of them and celebrate both. Aspiration can mean breathing. I aspirate. And we will share in breathing words about our past in our water communion. It can mean ambition, and we will have an opportunity to pledge what we hope to achieve in this congregation during our Rock Covenant. Our September theme is covenant and community. The UUA says of covenant, covenant is the silk that joins Unitarian Universalist congregations, communities, and individuals together in a web of interconnection. The practice of promising to walk together is the precious core of our creedless faith. So it seemed appropriate that we start the year by making a covenant, a binding agreement with ourselves on what we will manifest of ourselves in this year, in this place. But I'm racing ahead. Before we decide where we want to go, it's good to share where we're coming from. In this chalice, bowl, thing in front of me is water from over 20 years of Neighbourhood's water communions. We have water from the Ganges River and water from our taps. We have the water of joyous celebrations and the salt water of tears. We have the water symbolizes our past, fluid, expanding, and emotional. You will see that there are rocks in the water. These are rocks that Jillian and I took from the Canadian Shield last week. 4.2 billion-year-old rocks, amongst the oldest on Earth. Why are they here? In part, to complete the alchemy. We start every Unitarian service by binding together the elements of fire and air when we light the chalice. Now we include in that binding the elements of water and rock. So we have all four elements: earth, air, fire, and water, spirit, emotion, body, and mind. I ask that as we have all here, you bring all of yourself here to this ritual. The ritual has two parts, giving and taking. We start by giving our individual water to the collective water. The water you bring might be the actual water you got from a place this summer, or it might be symbolic water that you pour from our water jug. Did you go somewhere that spoke to your spirit? Is there water of tears or joy, water of birth or death that you can share with us? I ask that you form two lines, one on either side, come up alternately, adding your water to the bowl and telling us why it matters. If you don't have the actual water, use the pitcher and it will work. After we're finished here, I'll ask the people on Zoom who will have added what their water symbolizes to the chat. Gordon will bring me up an iPad and I'll add water from the pitcher. But first, I ask you to bring up water that meant something to you.
This is a symbolic water of the Madawaska River, which I've been visiting for about 40 years. But it was taken from my tap in a great place called the Performing Arts Lodge. And somebody had the foresight to build this building for us performers who don't have money when we get older necessarily. And we're all living together in this wonderful community, Madawaska and the Performing Arts Lodge.
This water symbolizes the Atlantic Ocean, where I had the pleasure of visiting this year in Maine, reconnecting with family and reconnecting with my past, where I spent many, many joyful summers.
This water represents swimming in Georgian Bay at Camp Nice and communing with the wonderful spirit choir this summer.
This water also represents water from Niconis and other places where I've been swimming and realizing that when I'm in the water, that I'm in the womb of the earth. Oh, here?
Yep.
Okay.
This water comes from Niagara. I picked it up on one of my visits with my son this past summer, and it symbolizes my connection to my home and my need to continue to strengthen those connections. Right now, my son is going through some difficulties with his the breakup of his with his partner, and most recently, my brother suffering some very serious health concerns. So, the need to connect to home feels very vital to me at this time.
This water represents the mist, which was at times mystical and at other times really challenging in the East Coast this summer when I was there. It also represents the joy. I had a childhood trauma being submerged in water, and last year took swimming lessons for the first time in 50 years. And this year I swam in the Atlantic and found the sweet joy of being submerged underwater.
So do I speak first? Okay. So this water symbolizes the gratitude that I feel for living in a country where we have potable drinking water, water that is available, hot and cold water that is available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, which I believe some huge number of people, like 95% or something, don't have. So I'm so grateful for that.
Yeah, this water represents Georgian Bay, where my family comes from. Swimming in the outdoor pool at Kiwanis this summer. in tears about my relationship with my sister.
This water bubbles through 3 seasons in our backyard pond, keeping us safe and comfortable at home. I also wanted to mention 2 other very important bodies of water for us. The St. Lawrence River outside Brenna's apartment, and the Pacific Ocean, where we were so fortunate to spend some time with a colony of seals this summer.
This water is twofold. One is my hot tub, which is the only thing that slows me down. But it's also the water that's in all of us. And water reacts to positivity and negativity. And so if we speak kindly to the water that's 60% of our body or more, we can do great things.
This is water that I got from inside a discarded plastic water bottle off of Cherry Beach when I was kayaking. So it symbolizes for me the joy of being able to get away and onto the water, being in a waterfront city in my kayak, and also that we must be stewards of the water that we have and treat this gift properly.
Flying over Bangladesh in August, I looked down and it was more than half water. So here's to the resilience of the Brahmaputra, Ratagul, Lawachara, and Old Dhaka.
This represents, and probably really is, water from Lake Ontario. Good old Lake Ontario, and one of my favorite things to do is put the guitar on my back, cycle down, and just sit on a bench, look out at that majestic lake. I heard that 96% of the water on the earth is salt water, so it's very valuable that we have big lakes like Ontario here.
This is for 2 of those Great Lakes. Lake Huron, I was able to spend some time with my grandkids and daughter and son-in-law this summer, and Cherry Beach again, where I do nature stewarding and jump in the lake after a hot morning of pulling invasives.
This water comes from my backyard. I collected it under our last full blue moon. It also represents the water I swam in, the lake I first visited 50 years ago. And for me, to echo what I heard Lauren say, it represents the river that runs through us and our strength.
This symbolic water represents my brother Steve Renzetti. He spent his life as a defender of the water. I salute his 20 years on the International Joint Commission, protecting the Great Lakes so that we might drink from it.
This is the actual water that we collected from the northernmost tip of Newfoundland, where 1,000 years ago Vikings landed, and 5,000 years ago the Aboriginal people hunted and fished, and represents our travels this summer and last across this beautiful country.
This water represents the water that breaks as life begins for all of us, and also the water that changed my life when my daughter was born.
This water represents Georgian Bay, where I got my first swim in this year at choir retreat, the Madawaska River that Naomi and I go to every year. I actually went in it this year. It wasn't so warm. And also many tears I've shed this year after losing the love of my life.
Well, this water represents home. The home that Dina and I are selling. My home at Tucker Lake, my trailer, where some of my rocks have visited. But also home here from the tap water.
So this also represents home for me. I've lived around water all my life, and I've been through many, many changes. So this year, instead of going away, I spent my money and renovated my kitchen. So now when I get the tap water, it makes me extremely happy.
I've been meaning to come up here for a few years now, but I've always been shy. This water represents the water I use for patients who haven't been able to eat and drink for 12, 24 hours after surgery and they're thirsty. And the water I use to wipe off blood or betadine off their skin after surgery. It's so good to be able to give people relief.
This represents water from the children's swimming pool at Q Beach, where I spent some joyful time with my granddaughter, 2-year-old granddaughter, visiting from Australia. The challenging part of that visit, which was wonderful usually, was we all got COVID. So it really meant that we spent a lot of close time together, which also was good. So.
I was so fortunate to go to choir retreat and also go to John Whitehead's cottage at the beginning of the summer. This is symbolic of that water and also of the swimming pool at Variety Village, where I try to swim almost every day because it's a foundational support and healing to me. And the tears I've shed with my son's adventures at the end of the summer. I'm so glad to be held here.
And this water is water from Lake Temagami, a magical lake up in northern Ontario of 1,678 islands where Jillian and I had the pleasure of canoeing and swimming and taking my dear friend Amy Gottlieb's ashes to lay them next to where Diana's ashes are. Yvette says, this water is to honor and thank Grandmother Moon and Mother Earth for everything. Dee Dee says, water from the ocean and the lake and the river in Natwashish, Labrador, where all are so close you can fish in all three in one afternoon. Thank you both for your water additions. And thank you all for the water communion.
I feel my most free and most blissful when I'm in a body of water. This summer I got to be in 5 Ontario bodies of water, and the song that I'm going to teach you now came from my time at Unicamp, where I was musician in residence for 10 days and also able to swim in wonderful, beautiful Unicamp Pond every day that I was there. So if we could rise in spirit, I'll teach you the song that was taught to me by Anastasia Love. So the first line goes, flowing like a river to the sea. Can we try that? Flowing like a river to the sea. Second phrase goes, love flows through you and it flows through me. Love flows through you and it flows through me. Let's put those two together, everyone all together. Flowing like a river to the sea. Love flows through you and it flows through me. Again. Flowing like a river to the sea. Love flows through you and it flows through me. The second bit goes, down to the sea. Down to the sea. Down to the sea. Down to the sea. And let's put those together. Down to the sea. Down to the sea. Great. So how we're going to sing this, we're going to get it going. We're going to sing it through a couple of times. And then we're going to overlap those two parts. So Allison's going to continue with the flowing like a river bit. And if you like that part, you're welcome to stay along with her. And I'm going to just be repeating the down to the sea part. And if you like that part better, you can join me on that lower part. All right, all together. Flowing like a river to the sea. Love flows through you and it flows through me. And we repeat that. Flowing like a river to the sea. Love flows through you and it flows through me. Down to the sea. 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 Love flows down to the sea. Down to the sea. Love flows down to the sea. Down to the sea. Love down to the sea, down to the sea,
love
down to the sea, down to the sea,
love
down to the sea, flowing like a river to the sea. Love flows through you, and it flows through me.
Thank you, Suzanne and Nally. You know, as you were teaching the song, I was in the washroom. I'll let you guys make the connection yourself. And then I couldn't get back in. Thank you, Jillian. All right. Now we're going to move into a meditation. So find a position where you can sit comfortably. Close your eyes if you like, and take several deep breaths, easy breaths, before looking through your mind's eye. Imagine walking down a path beside a creek. You recall all of the warnings that you heard in the spring to use caution around the area and that it would be dangerous to go in. But now it's nearing the end of summer. How is the water flowing differently? Where does the water flow to? You look ahead to find out. You notice the rocks and the stones and how they seem to slightly change the flow of the water. Or is the water working to flow around the rocks and the stones? You notice a particularly beautiful stone in the cool water. You are called to pick it up. It's solid, unlike the flowing water. How does it feel in your hand? The stone asks you to think about your future. As the stone impacts the flow of the water, you consider how you want to have impact over the seasons to come. You toss the stone back into the water. As you watch the ripples, you think some more about how you will have impact. Aspirations, covenant. You are called once more to fetch the stone from the creek. The stone holds memories. You set an intention to hold it in your hand each morning to remember how your life has impact. And now as the water fades out, slowly come back to this room. Take your time. And now we're going to move into Rock Covenant.
Great meditation, Deb. Thank you. I said that this ritual has two parts, give and take. You gave your deeply moving emotions and stories and water to our collective bowl. Now you'll have an opportunity to take a rock, a piece of Canadian shield, that has absorbed the emotions and the history of neighborhood from these waters. The rock is a 4.2 billion-year-old seal to the covenant you make with yourself on what you aspire to achieve, to manifest, to do here at Neighbourhood this year. Neighbourhood has 5 bi-monthly aspirations. We aspire to be deeply connected, to be theologically active, to be radically inclusive, to be spiritually grounded, and to be actively engaged. And perhaps your aspiration comes out of one of those. Perhaps it's a way to deepen your connection or engagement, or perhaps it's personal. I'd encourage you to be specific as you form your aspiration. Don't covenant, I aspire to create world peace. Covenant with, I aspire to get along better with that guy next door who drives me crazy. These aspirations are personal. You won't be saying them out loud or writing them down or sharing them. They're personal. They're a covenant between you, yourself, or between you and spirit, or what the Rastafari would call between I and I. If you choose to make a covenant for the year, come up to the bowl, silently say to yourself, this year I aspire to reach into the water and take a rock as a symbol of your covenant. You might choose to put the rock on your home altar, if you have one, or in a prominent place where you'll see and remember it. And because we have water, we also have towels, so after you have taken a rock, you're welcome to take a towel to dry your hands. I would ask again that you form 2 lines and come up alternately to make your covenants.
What does that mean?
You've given your emotions. You've taken a seal to your covenant. You've given water. You've taken rock, all held in the chalice space of fire and air. Thank you for completing this ritual. We are grateful to each other for the aspirations that make our congregation stronger. And we are blessed by the covenants we have made with ourselves.
I'm going to lead you in a song written by Melanie Demore. She wrote this song as her friend was dying of ovarian cancer. And her notes to the song was just, sometimes the only thing and the best thing that we can give to each other is to be there. So this is called Standing Stone. Why don't we stand if you're able and willing? Again, it's just 2 lines long. I'll teach it to you. I'll teach you a little harmony. We'll split the group. We'll sing it a few times with resolve about being there for each other. I will be your standing stone. I will stand by you. Let's try it together. I will be your standing stone. I will stand by you. I will be your standing stone. I will stand by you. Good. If that's feeling a little bit low and you'd like to try a higher part, you can sing with me. It'll sound like this. I will be your standing stone. I will stand by you. For those that like that, try that with me. I will be your standing stone. I will stand by you. One more time. I will be your standing stone. I will stand by you. So let's sing this a few times. I'll sing with Alison. We'll get the bottom part started. You can move to the harmony with me once we get there. I will be your standing stone. I will stand by you. I will be your standing stone. I will stand by you. I will be your standing stone. I will stand by you. I will be your standing stone. I will stand by you. One more time, everyone. I will be your standing stone. I will stand by you. May we be that for each other.
Thank you. Okay, am I the only person here that is curious? It's kind of like when you're doing your tarot reading, for those of you guys who do that, and a card drops. Yes, thank you. It's one of Lauren's. It's one of Lauren's. So I'm just going to hold it up, and you guys can make whatever connection you make with this. Okay, now is the time for our offertory. So how's everybody enjoying the service so far? Okay, terrific. I'm going to be bold again, and just to say, of course it couldn't happen without the volunteer efforts, but also due to the folks who share of themselves financially. So thank you for your continued generosity. The greeters will pass the baskets for those of you who choose to contribute in that way while we listen to Susanne play. Thank you, Suzanne. If you have found love and acceptance here, if you've found home here, if you have known kindred spirits here, let this offering be a token of gratitude for our common life as we build the common good.
Though below me I feel no motion, standing on these mountains and plains, far away from the rolling ocean, still my dry land heart can say, I've been sailing all my life now, never harbor or port have I known. Wide universe is the ocean I travel, and the earth is my blue boat home. Sun, my sail, and moon, my rudder, as I ply the starry sea, leaning over the edge in wonder, casting questions into the deep, drifting here with my ship's companions, all we kindred pilgrim souls, making our way by the lights of the heavens in our beautiful blue boat home. I give thanks to the waves upholding me, hail the great wind searching me on, greet the infinite sea before me, sing the sky my sailor song. I was born upon the fathoms, never harbor or port have I known. The wide universe is the ocean I travel, and the earth is my blue boat home. Blue boat
Yes. Say it with me. Yes. Okay. I invite you to join Suzanne in singing as Julia comes back up and chalice, extinguishes the chalice. Thank you, Julia. I saw a lot of smiling faces coming out. Not that they were smiling because they were coming out, but it looks like they had a wonderful time. As is our tradition here at Neighbourhood, while I give the final blessing, let's connect by joining hands or linking arms or touching elbows, whatever feels comfortable and consensual. And if you have a free hand, you can do hand on heart. And then after the blessing, turn to the friends on Zoom and put your hands together and say namaste, which means I salute the spirit in you. Today, I leave you with this blessing. Once again, in the words of Lynn Harrison, make us smooth stones, make us smooth stones. Let this love wash over us, make us smooth stones. And as you leave here today, with a special rock that holds memories and your own personal covenant for this year. Let the love wash over you. And as we focus on our monthly theme of covenant and community, let the love wash over you. Our service is ended. Go in peace and in flow. Breakout rooms will begin shortly.